folks. Welcome to another segment of Moto Talks with Mitch and Mel. And today we are going to talk about, we'll ask the question, how insurance companies try to blame riders. Welcome again to the Moto Talks with Mitch and Mel, brought to you by Proner & Proner, a law firm with a global presence and expertise that feels local and personal. I'm your host and fellow rider, Mel McHoop. And we'll be sitting down with a personal injury expert and rider, Mitch Proner, a lawyer with over 30 years of experience, to answer your questions and share insights that you'll find useful in the personal injury world. And one thing to add too, like you said, 40 years of riding experience, Mitch, was it?
So over 40 years.
Excellent.
Over 40 years of riding. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like a lot of people that ride, I started riding mini bikes when I was a kid, then went up to dirt bikes, then got a road bike. My first road bike was a 1977 Yamaha DOHC.
Oh, wow. Nice.
700 cc's.
700, wow.
And then after that, I got a 82 1000 cc Harley Sportster.
Oh, wow.
And then, I've had so many bikes since then. but I've always had a bike. I haven't always had a car.
Really? Oh.
I haven't always had a car, but since I was probably, I would say, since I was a teenager, I always had a bike, at least one. And many times, sometimes I had three in my garage.
So you're riding before you were driving, is that correct?
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah. and like a lot of kids out there, there was no adult supervision. We were pretty. I'm lucky I lived through it, to be honest. I mean, we were pretty reckless crowd of kids, unfortunately. But look, I lived through it. Anyway,
yeah.
So that's a good segue into the topic today. So here's the story. Please. Sometimes riders, they don't ride cautiously.
Guilty.
Yeah, me too. For example, my bikes are air cooled. Okay.
Same here.
And they could get very hot between my thighs.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting in traffic. My road glide, it could get hot. So, have I ever split lanes? Yeah. Is that legal in New York? No. Now, I'm taking that risk knowingly.
Right.
That doesn't make it smart. Doesn't make it smart. But in that situation, have I ever done it? Yeah. Guilty. If I get hurt in that situation, that's my fault. Well, probably the insurance carriers are right to blame me. Right? Just like if somebody's DWI and they hit a pole, you can't blame the pole. Honestly, I can say I'm not out there doing that. But problem is, most motorcycle accidents don't happen because Mitch was splitting lanes. Most motorcycle accidents happen like my accident. Mine happened because a cab made a left turn into my motorcycle, didn't see me. They don't see the bike. They're not obeying the rules of the road.
Right.
For example, sometimes a rider might be on a bike and they pull up to a stop sign and they look around and they don't see a car coming from the other directions at the stop sign. So without even putting their feet down off the pegs, they stop, they look around, they don't see anybody, and they go.
Yeah.
You find the rider, and that rider swears he's never done that. Okay. But what happens is, oftentimes, the guy in the car, he does the same thing. Pulls up to the stop sign.
Yep.
Doesn't even take his foot off the gas. Looks around, doesn't see anybody, and goes in, but hits a bike because they didn't see him. Now, driver of the car's at fault. Motorcyclist had the right of way. The insurance carrier tries to blame the rider. And oftentimes they'll do it based upon the driver's illogical statement. So, picture this. It's a main thoroughfare.
Okay.
And side streets. Everybody knows that, right?
Right.
Main thoroughfare, you're allowed to go straight through. The side streets have stop signs. Person pulls up to the stop sign, looks two ways, doesn't see anybody, and pulls out into the main thoroughfare and hits the bike. Bike had the right of way. So, insurance carrier takes their driver of the car's statement and says, did the bike do anything wrong? Yeah, he was speeding. How do you know he was speeding? Because I looked and he wasn't there. So he had to have been flying. Logically, you can't, and legally, you can't testify to someone's speed if you didn't observe it. So a cop giving you a speeding ticket, they could either say, I timed it by radar, or they could say, I followed it and I observed it. But a cop can't say, I had to give him a speeding ticket because I never saw him. It's legally insufficient, right?
Yeah, right.
Officer, how do you know he was speeding? Because I didn't see him. No. But the insurance carriers use that statement to say, we're not paying on this claim. We'll give you 50%. But you had the stop sign. Yeah, but our driver said he was speeding. How do you know he's speeding? Because he never saw him. Well, that's not speeding.
Yeah.
But the insurance carriers try to blame the rider. And then some lawyers, not me, never me, but some lawyers will then file suit. I file suit. That's not the part that's not me. And the judge will try and settle the case. Now, why do the judges try to settle cases? I'm on trial now. I started this trial before Thanksgiving. We went all through December. The judge stopped for Christmas and says, come back January 7th. Now, January 7th is going to be a half day. January 8th is going to be a full day. January 9th will be a half day. And then we'll go to the following week. The 12th we're off because I have motion day. The 13th is again half a day because I got an Article 81 hearing, and it goes on like this with half days and days off. And that's why trial takes so long. But I'm basically tying up all this judge's free time for 2 months.
Yeah.
On one case. If the judge could settle it, one type the case, one type the courthouse. So the judge did try to settle the case, And unfortunately, the money being offered wasn't enough.
Right.
So I'm going to trial. My client is the one that makes the decision. I advise my client, but the client makes the decision. So now, a lot of times a lawyer will go to court with a motorcycle accident case, and the judge will say, "What do you want?" And the lawyer will say, 100,000. And then the judge will say to the defendant, "How much money have you got on this?" And the lawyer will say, "We only have 30,000 are willing to pay." And the judge will say, "Can you get 35?" And the lawyer will say, "I could try." And then tells the lawyer for the motorcyclist, "Take 35." And the lawyer says, why don't I take 35? I want 100,000. And the judge says, "Yeah. Well, you know everybody hates motorcycles." Now the judge is putting the squeeze on the lawyer with the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it works. Because the lawyer's afraid to try a motorcycle accident case. Me, I've tried motorcycle accident cases in over 30 jurisdictions. I come in, if they say to me, "Everybody hates motorcycles," I say, "I win them. Ask my adversaries." And they go back to the carrier and say, "Listen, he'll try it. You got to come up with some more money." Because my reputation is I do try a case.
Right.
And that, I believe, increased, in my heart, I believe, and my adversaries know, they got to pay. It increases the value of my cases because I'm prepared to go to trial. So every one of my cases, they have that behind them. But the insurance carriers are used to discounting motorcycle accident cases because they think the rider is always at fault, and they're not. People don't obey the traffic rules. That's not an excuse. I couldn't see him because it's a motorcycle. The law is, and there's an actual jury charge that juries hear when they decide these cases. Every motor vehicle operator has an obligation to see what's there to be seen.
Right. Remember that.
And if a motorcycle is there to be seen, the driver has an obligation to see it. And you can't say it's not there to be seen. Otherwise, it doesn't have the accident if it's not there.
Right.
So if it's there to be seen. So all operators of motor vehicles, cars, buses, trucks, and motorcycles have to obey the rules of the road. And if you don't obey the rules of the road and you cause an accident, well, then you have to pay the damages. That's the law. Of course, not everybody follows the law.
Right.
And that's why you need lawyers that are willing to fight to get the money the rider deserves.
There you go. Now, Mitch, before we wrap things up, I had a quick question for you. The appellate law, I know you were the one who was at the forefront of that. Was that before or after your accident?
The what?
The appellate law?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So here's a story. My office has consistently tried cases, and we handle our own appeals. And we've made motorcycle accident law in New York.
Right.
If you research a left turn case where the rider is 100% right and the other side's at fault as a matter of law, that's my case law that determined that.
Wow.
The more you do research on motorcycle accident case in New York, the more you're going to get my cases up on appeal. But most of those cases came after my accident.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank goodness you
live to tell about it. Live to ride.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That sounds like a T-shirt. Maybe that's gonna be our next T-shirt.
I could have been like the bug on the windscreen.
Oh,
the bug on the fairing.
The bug on the fairing. Well, let's.
You know, it goes through it goes through a bug's head before it hits a fairing.
What's that? I haven't heard this. What?
His butt.
can't believe I haven't heard that one. I like that. I'm going to use that
Anyway.
next time. All right.
I
Well,
might have butchered that joke a little bit, but you get the
no,
idea.
I've never heard it. It's great. All right.
All
Well, there
right.
you have it, folks. Straight from the expert
It's another
himself.
legal one for you.
There you go. You're gonna have your own book of legal jokes.
All
Well,
right.
there you have it again, folks, from the expert himself, Mitch Proner. If you need our help, call us 24/7 at 1-800-321-1234, where all consultations are free and confidential. And that wraps it up for now. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's on our podcast or video broadcast. We really do appreciate it. If you haven't done it yet, please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Like, share, and please subscribe to get the latest updates. Now, before we go, anything else you want to add, Mitch?
Ride free, ride safe. That's it. Thank you.
I like that. Thank you, Mitch. And thank you all for checking us out. And remember, we ride just like you. We'll see you next time.
Right.
Thank you.
Take care.